Hi, my name is Dr. Stella Jeffries. Today I will be discussing other factors which cause DNA mutation to the Black race. But first, I would like to give a medical disclaimer. The information in this podcast are for educational purposes only and does not substitute professional medical advice or consultation from your healthcare providers. There are many unethical experiments performed on Black people throughout history which also cause DNA mutation. It is important to acknowledge and learn from these dark parts of our past to ensure that they are not repeated in the future and to trace the cause of why Black people are most susceptible to chronic diseases. Unethical experiment can affect DNA expression. It is important to note that changing DNA expression is a complex process that can be influenced by various factors, including genetic, environmental, lifestyle, and epigenetics. Epigenetic changes, which are modifications to DNA or the proteins associated with DNA that can affect gene expression without changing the underlying DNA sequence, can potentially be caused by environmental factors, including stress, exposure to toxin, and nutrition. These changes can alter DNA expression and potentially lead to health problems that can be passed down to offspring, leading to intergenerational effects. In some cases, unethical experiments have been found to cause epigenetic changes. Studies have found that stress experienced by pregnant women can cause epigenetic changes to their offspring. The stress experienced by enslaved Black people and their descendants may have led to epigenetic changes that affect gene expression and potentially contribute to health disparities. The stress experienced by Black people as a result of systemic racism and discrimination may also have similar effects. Here are a few examples of unethical experiments that affected the Black human race. The Tuskegee syphilis studies, which was a study conducted by the U.S. Public Health Service from 1932 to 1972, in which 600 Black men with syphilis were left untreated to observe the progress of the disease. Even after a cure was discovered in the 1940s, the men were not informed of the treatment. Another unethical study performed was the study done by J. Marion Sims, known as the father of modern gynecology. Sims conducted numerous experiments on enslaved Black women in the 1800s without the use of anesthesia. He performed surgeries to treat fistula, which are tear in the vaginal wall that can occur during delivery. Many of the women experienced extreme pain and suffering, and some died as a result of the experiment. Radiation experiment was another study done from the 1940s to the 1970s, in which the U.S. government conducted experiments on thousands of people, including many Black individuals, to study the effect of radiation exposure. In some cases, participants were given radioactive material without their knowledge or consent. The unethical experiments performed on Black people, such as the Tuskegee experiment and the radioactive experiment, may have potentially affected DNA expression. While the impact of unethical experiments on DNA expression is not fully understood, it is clear that these experiments are a violation of ethical principles and can have harmful consequences on individuals and communities. It is essential to prioritize ethical research practices to ensure that people are not subjected to harm in the name of scientific inquiry.